Welcome back, everybody, to Lollipunk Productions. Today we are going to be changing it up a little bit. We will not be doing another Valiant Hearts playthrough. I'll have another episode of that in a couple days. I was going through Steam and I was just downloading some demos that looked interesting when I came across this. It's called Patent 9, and it looks interesting. It looks like it has a lot of live acting in it. I don't know much more than that, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into the game. Are you sure you want to start a new game? Is no an option? Okay, let's click yes. Suspended in pure automata liquid, 9 figures float in the Kalasha chambers. Women. Mostly naked women, but only one of them is the light bearer. A female voice. Lang? Lang, wake up. A voice, deep, soothing, ever-present, calls to me. You all right? Fine. What is it, Maria? You should really get some proper sleep. In your bed. What is it? You have a visitor. Maria, she's been through so much with me. So long. Seems long anyway. She always acted shy. Withdrawn. But whenever I've needed her the most, she was there. I guess timid people like her shine only when the going gets tough. I guess that's for the best. I don't have a need for big mouths in my work. Or life, for that matter. He's waiting for you. Kawea's with him. You better hurry up. Chapter 1. The Fool's Gambit. I think I'm the fool. Every time I enter the main room, I'm awestruck. That is pretty interesting. It is my pride and joy, the crown of my achievement. So far. Alright, I originally thought I was a detective, but what's all this stuff? And just like tips of a crown, 9 Kalasha chambers stand upright, greeting me. Situated like a jewel in the center of that crown is the template pod, linking the rest of the chambers with an endless sprawl of cables. But as soon as my sight averts and lowers from that splendor, I'm quickly slapped back into the harsh truth of it all. For despite all my successes, I'm still here to obey, along with countless others. Standing there is none other than Joaquin, the head of the committee. He is the man who can either turn my dreams into reality or nightmares. To him, I'm like the rest, just another game piece that can be easily swiped off of the board. Perhaps I'm even worse. For all those the committee has to rely on, even if it's only for a moment, become potential threats. And in my case, they're not mistaken. My right hand, Kawea, stands next to Joaquin, chit-chatting. It is only when I look at her and clear my mind of the dark thoughts that seem to be intrinsically connected to Joaquin that I notice something else. The tank in Joaquin's hands. Dr. Lang. Mr. Joaquin, you look exhausted. He's been working non-stop. Kawea, she's like an angel watching over me, giving me far too much attention. Much like Maria, but yet in a different way. I can't put my finger on it. Never could. I would probably get sued for harassment. Didn't much care. But their care towards me, similar and yet so different, didn't go over my head. Kawea is always near whenever I need her. Ever present. I can almost smell her in every part of this lab. That's creepy. Which is not that surprising, considering she grew up here. She grew up in your lab? We've been partners ever since the committee gave me this lab after her father died, as per her wishes. So her father died and she grew up in the lab. Oh, because it was her dad's lab. That makes sense. Kawea did not seem to mind, as one might think. She always said Gideon loved me as much as her. I was the son he never had. Or so she claimed. But still manages to take a nap, I see. I joke, of course. To what do we owe this pleasure. I brought you something. A vase? Joachim extends his arms toward me. I designed the Amada tank with the help of the same knowledge that built the Kalasha chambers and everything else in this room. A knowledge that inexplicably came to me. The tank contains exactly what it was built for. I stare at the viscous liquid, and what is presumably the very last of it. The liquid seems to agree, for at least in my eyes, it moves like a living thing, eager to be used for its one and only purpose. Wonder what that purpose is. Our people have been working non-stop for the past 7 months to get this much. There is no more of it. It should be enough. I'll tell you when it's enough. Either way, you'll have to make do with it. I don't have any options. As I said, it should be enough. I hope you made all the necessary precautions. Almost. Excellent, we can finally begin then. We still have to go through the synchro calculations on the pod and the chambers. They're not ready. Well, I am afraid the committee thinks otherwise. You're the head of the committee. We need a little more time. The committee is running out of patience, and so am I. But if we start now... You will start now. You have had unlimited resources and plenty of time. But we have to run more tests. I'm with Kaweya. We'll do it. What? We can do it. We have enough of the Amada now. You know, we can't just... We'll do it. Flustered, she storms out. Kaweya does not seem pleased. I can hear her heels clicking angrily down the hallway, echoing. Behind her, the atmosphere of anger and disappointment she leaves in the air is almost tangible. I like your resolve, Dr. Lang. And while I approve of your can-do attitude, I will have to keep a closer eye on you during this sensitive part of the project. You understand, of course. Of course. I'm glad we came to an agreement. Enjoy your gift. I'm eagerly waiting for mine. Good things come to those who wait, Mr. Joachim. I will see you in 3 weeks, Dr. Lang. By that time, I'm sure you will have some promising preliminary results. I'm certain I will. I do not doubt it. Take care, Dr. Lang. You too, Mr. Joachim. Alright, so I'm a doctor. I'm in a lab. I work with Kaweya here. What the hell was that? You know damn well we're not ready. We'll have to be. Have you really lost your mind, or what? That's the committee we're dealing with here. And you just lied to them. To him! We can't fake this. Real scientific proof can't be faked. We won't fake it. We'll do it. Besides, all this was created from a vision, not on research. We can't call it science. Not really. There's still a ton of calculations on the Kalasha. The Asphodel project needs to begin now. I can feel her anger bubbling, wanting to gush out. But she manages to contain it. She doesn't want to prolong this, neither do I. Look, Lang, I've known you since university. My dad loved you since the day you came here. I've always known you were smart and competent, and my dad never thought about anyone but you taking over his lab. Gideon was a great man, best mentor one could ever hope for. And when you took over, you proved his trust was well placed. You've worked long and hard and done so much for the committee and the city. But just like him, they never let you in. You were just another bioengineer to be used for food processing like all the others. But now? What's your point? You've changed, Lang. You've changed so much. The situation has changed. I simply adapted, and I hope you'll do the same. Oh, that's a big zoom in of her face. I can't follow you anymore. Those images and flashes that have lasted for the past 10 years and made you dream up this whole project. That's something I still, to this day, can't wrap my head around. For a dream to make you able to do the calculations and preliminary tests that all somehow miraculously prove to be correct without any prior I don't know where the calculations came from, along with the names I've never heard of in my life, but I knew I had to give each piece of the project. Those dreams changed you, Lang, for the worse. You think so? Yes, I do. And yet, here we are with the upper hand over Joachim and the committee. No one other than us has ever been given such an opportunity to stand toe-to-toe with the committee. And I plan to use that, but I can't do it without you. For this experiment to work, and with all the calculations done, we still need a template. I said I was willing to be the template before, but not with this half-assed preparations. Nothing will happen to you even if the experiment is a failure. We don't have enough of this liquid to fail, Lang. It's the lifeblood of the whole project. What is this liquid? What is it? What's a matter? Oh, what's the matter with you? That experiment, however, it turns out, will buy us more time because then the committee will see some kind of progress. That's how I got the funding in the first place. With preliminary tests that somehow turned out to be right without me knowing how. Besides, I've made sure we have enough Amada liquid for a second go. And it's this tank right here. I'm a scientist, Lang. And so are you. Or at least you were before you became a politician. I don't want to participate in this kind of research anymore. Despite her best efforts, her passion was getting the better of her. Like so many times before. She runs out. Yet again. She needs to blow off some steam. Like always. She still has much to learn. That's condescending. I've been through that too many times, both with her and myself. I know that process all too well. That's why I direct my attention to something more puzzling. The Amada liquid. It was creepy. Ah, Maria. Always with the perfect timing and less drama. I brought you some tea. Thank you. You should really get some proper rest. She's always telling me to go to sleep. No time now, I'm afraid, but thank you for your concern. Alright, but please take care of yourself. I promise. Don't worry. Maria leaves the room like a ghost. I think I'm beginning to see the differences between her and Kauea a bit better now. It's no surprise, I guess, considering the delicacy of the whole situation. Without giving it any more thought, I returned to the tank. The best thing to happen in this whole lousy day. It began with a single dream, and that dream was of darkness. Utter and pure and beautiful in its stillness. Darkness gave birth to light. 8 of them. All different in color and radiance and splendor. The most beautiful was the last one, the 9th. It was light made of darkness, and it unlocked the passage to the other world, a better world, a world of light. And I knew that it existed, and I knew it was real, waiting for us, for me, somewhere beyond. At first, I thought 9 was the key, but then it made a mirror of itself, a shadow, and it looked like the letter P. The path to the other, better world was in the duality of 9. Or did it mean something else entirely? Was it really letter P? Then came the formulas and calculations, all complete, swarming just into my head. From them spouted 9 specifically designed chambers, and somehow I knew they were named Kalasha chambers, but they were empty, dry, dead, and I knew how to revive them, for they could be alive. Every living thing needs sustenance and blood. I don't like where this is going. Everything begins and ends in blood. The Asphodel project began with me, and so the blood for the Kalasha chamber had to be my blood, my beginning. There, beneath the place I was born, I was sure I would find it, and there it was. From that blood, a female template, and from those 9 chambers emerged 9 test subjects, patents, I would call them. But only one would be the key to the other side. I just have to find out which one. Which one is patent 9? 10 years, 10 long years, and he plans to let it go to waste. Risk all the resources we have just to buy us a little more time. And what if we fail? What if the experiment fails? What if we don't get any more resources? What if there aren't any more resources? God, he's such an idiot. I can't do this anymore. I'm losing it. So much pressure. She's really having a breakdown. Daddy, how did you manage it? How do you keep on going? How did you feel in the end when you didn't succeed? When they didn't take you in? Daddy, why did you have to go? Why is she saying it daddy? Why not dad? Why not father? You were my anchor, my strength. Ever since mom left us, you were my everything. You were my everything even before then. She never loved us. That's a horrible thing to say about your own mom. She never loved me because she was jealous of you, Dad, of your success. But she made it sound like resentment because you weren't able to make us members. What are members? What is the committee? I just want to have a good, long life filled with happiness. When she'd go into her daily tantrums and ask me why I couldn't be as smart and as beautiful as other girls, you were here, in this lab, always. And I could always come to you for comfort. She repeated those things almost every day. And almost every day, you made me who I am, Dad. See, Dad's better. I don't like Daddy. Remember, kiddo, you're not as smart and as beautiful as any other girl. You're so much more. Daddy, go away. Kaweya, may I come in? I brought you some coffee. I don't want any coffee. I heard what happened just now. And? What about it? I'm sorry, Maria. It's just that. You don't have to do it, you know. What? The experiment. You don't have to be the template. You don't even need to be with Lang in the control room. I can't just let it all go. I've sacrificed too much. You did. But if you don't agree with the way he runs things, you can quit. Maria, you can always quit. I know, it's just that Lang is so much like my late father. That's why they got along so good when Lang came fresh from the university to be my dad's assistant. I've never met Dr. Gideon, but I do know how much respect Lang had for him, and I've seen how much respect you have for Lang. Maybe because I channel my father through him. Maybe because I'm still just a weak, scared little girl who... It's okay, Kaweya. I know how hard it was for you, but you're not weak. You're the smartest and bravest woman I've ever known. Maria, it's alright. Thank you. No need. Yes, there is. You're just tired, that's all. And you lost your cool for a second. Happens to us all. Yeah, I guess so. Listen, regarding Lang and your respect for him, your father trusted him. And I guess that tells us something about him. I hope so. He's a hardworking man who respects you as much as you respect him. At least that's what I saw in him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just see it that way. That's my opinion, and I won't say any more on the matter. It's your choice. Just remember that whatever you decide to do, you have the absolute right. I thought you said you weren't going to say any more on the matter. No one will find you weak or scared or anything like that. You are your own person, and you have the right to choose for yourself. That's a good message. I'll remember that. Make sure you do. Thank you for everything. I told you, no need. You have it all in you. You just have to be reminded of it from time to time. We all do. Now, drink up before it gets cold. See you later. Yeah, see you later. I'll do it. For you, Dad. And for Lang. If you believed in him, then so must I. Lang? May I come in? You always do. Listen, I just want to apologize. I'm sorry for storming out like that and for saying all those things. You're under a lot of stress. We both are. Yeah, I guess so, but I still wouldn't want us to start something so big with bad blood between us. There is no bad blood. Are you sure? Don't worry about it. Okay, but I still don't think we should go on with this. Not until we're truly ready. We've invested too much effort, and by doing this now, we could jeopardize the whole project, reserve liquid or not. I understand your concern, but we can do it. I know we can. I know you can. You're really doing this to buy us more time, so that the committee sees we've made some progress? To keep them at bay? Yes, but I don't think there will be problems. So far, everything I've done in this project has turned out perfect. This is the final step. How do they work? What do you mean? The visions in your head. How do they direct you towards the next step? It's not something rational. It's more like something you feel. So you feel that the creation of these new human beings patents, as you call them, is the right step? We're making humans, alright. I do, yes. And you don't have to participate in any way. You don't have to be a template. I know, Lang, I know. I've decided to do it. I want to do it. There's no stopping you in any way now. So, they're making clones of Sawaya. Kawea. Not here, not this far. I want to participate. I'm glad. Which reminds me. Is that the Heimmuller machine? Yes. I didn't know you were still working on it. It's also part of the plan. You really believe it'll prove anything? With the modifications I've done, yes. Lang, the technology Jürgen Hein and Wilhelm Müller created to support unique neural wavelength theories of each person were inconclusive, to say the least. Yes, but with my calibrations, it'll work. We've come this far, following only your hunches and visions. Who am I to question anything you do anymore? So, you want to help out? What can I do? If every person has a unique neural wavelength, an entirely new being should have a totally different type of neural wavelength. Okay. I know the neural wavelength frequencies of the patents, which are different from ours. I just know them. I'm following. We do not create them. The template U is merely a medium through which the patents will come into shape. Nothing more. Once we summon the 9, we can run them through the Heimmuller test first and prove what they are. We can be sure that we are on the right track. On the right track to finding the one? Yes. She will have a completely different, higher neural wavelength than the rest, which is where the test comes into full use. To discern her from the rest. Precisely. And what does that have to do with me? I need a test subject to see if the machine works. But I'm not a patent. That's right. So it should at least show a negative result. I had just long enough time to calibrate the negative result processing. Alright, let's do it. What do I have to do? Nothing much, just stand there and try to breathe normally. You're sure this will work properly? Oh, am I actually interacting now? I am, okay. Told you it wouldn't work. It almost did. Almost isn't good enough in our field. And you know it. I just need to recalibrate it. You're very sure of yourself. I'm sure of this strange knowledge I've got stored inside my head. This could potentially be the greatest achievement the world has ever seen. We can finally answer the biggest question of all. What do you mean? Is there something else? Something more beyond this city? And can we find out what it is? Can we experience it? I'm well aware of that, but that's one more reason why I want us to be even more careful. I know. But all those questions we have can't be answered unless we do as the committee says. And even then, we must first hope they take us in so we can continue our work. Otherwise, they'll keep our accomplishments for themselves. We must join the committee because if you're not in the committee, then you're nothing here. I know, Lang. I know. But out there, perhaps things may be a lot different. We'll never know unless we first play by these rules here. Their rules. I know my dad wouldn't approve of your methods, but I guess he would understand. After everything he had spent his whole life trying to accomplish, he had ended up right where he began. A food engineer, and all he wanted was to provide a better life for you, to become a member and to make you one as well. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm happy you see it that way. I'll do it, if for no other reason than to make the dream my dad had for me a reality. I understand. Everything is going according to plan. Soon, I will leave this prison. I watch Kaweya getting comfortable, or at least as comfortable as she can get in the template pod. I see her in a new light, so graceful and determined, strong-willed and vulnerable, all at the same time. Nearby, the Kalasha chambers await silently, patiently, like wombs ready to receive the seeds of a new beginning. Wow. A new life. Well, I guess this is it. As I await the next phase of the experiment, I find myself trembling. Excitement and anxiety become one. Exhilaration and trepidation are overwhelming. But there is more than that. Two more feelings loom over the others, and they only become tangible when I look back at Kaweya. Curiosity and concern. Curiosity at the end result. Concern for the only person who ever came close to truly knowing me, and who now lies inside that pod. But the thing that troubles me the most is the fact that I cannot discern which of the two is stronger. Ready for this? As ready as I can be. Excuse me. What is it, Maria? I just wanted to wish you both good luck. I know how hard and long you have... I know how long and hard you've been working on this, and I know how much it means to you both. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, thanks. I'm so glad I could be here to share this with you after so many years. 10 long years. Time just flew by. How old were they when they started? Like 13? Let's get to work. Whenever you're ready. For you, Dad. Readings are within parameters. How are you feeling? Never better. Good. I'm preparing the Amada injection. My readings are in the green. Do it. Injecting Amada liquid. Like liquid gold, the Amada liquid pours into Kaweya's pod, and I can see her reaction as well as read it on the monitor. Fear. Surprise. Perhaps even shock. Even though she knows how the process goes, I can't blame her. Her heartbeat speeds up along with the level of the liquid, and as it nears and then submerges her head, she must fight the natural urge to scream. to seek a way out. I release the Amada into the empty chambers, filling them to the top. I have enough for one more. The thirst of the dry wombs is, at least in my mind, finally abated. Oxidizing. Although Kueya keeps clinging on to that all-too-human urge not to release any of the air she has left in her lungs while she's submerged, her rational side eventually kicks in, and slowly but surely, she makes the leap of faith and exhales. Oxidized liquid fills her lungs, enabling her to breathe as if she was on dry land. Life signs stabilizing. Kueya? I'm fine. After all the tests in the past years, it still feels weird to be able to breathe and talk in a liquid. Strange sensation. I will proceed with activating the morphogenesis syncytium. Morphogenesis syncytium. Okay. Good luck, Kueya. Thank you, Maria. Don't worry. We're here, Kueya. I'm ready. Do it. Morphogenesis syncytium initiated. As the morphogenesis syncytium kicks in, the galvanized neural particles are injected into the Amada liquid with lightning fast speed. I don't know if that's real science. The particles activate the liquid's molecular structure almost instantly. The liquid responds, at first barely, a bubble here and there, but then the responses change and turn into something that can be best described as twitches. The Amada liquid begins to move. A smile escapes my lips. I am overjoyed to see it work just like in the simulations. This is it. The dream is becoming reality. 10 long years have passed since I first had it, and now it's coming to life. So free. What? I feel so free. Her words are jumbled. I want to know what she's trying to say. But I have to get back to the readouts. I must concentrate. This is my only chance. Morphogenesis is at 88%. All chambers are responding synchronously. Morphogenesis at 99%. Readings normal. What's going on? Something's wrong. I tried all the combinations that come to mind at the moment. My fingers flow on the control panel, but the controls don't respond. The whole instrumentation panel lights up like a Christmas tree. In that moment, I stop with everything. My hands are no longer my own as I stare at what's happening in front of me. And I simply, for the first time ever, cannot believe my eyes. The Amada liquid, charged up and alive, seemingly starts to boil. What's going on? What's with Kueya? How is she? I don't know. Help her! Kueya, can you hear me? Only bits and pieces of her words come through, and I don't know what to do. In that moment, concern overpowers curiosity, and in some bizarre way, I'm happy to feel that, for I know I'm still not completely gone. Kueya, answer me! Kueya! Once again, I put my heart and soul into the commands, trying to find a way to do something to save her. I try everything I can think of, but it's not enough. It is out of my reach. It was out of my reach from the moment this whole thing began. The controls are not responding. Morphogenetic integrity is falling apart. What are you gonna do? We have to do something. Dad? I'll have to terminate the Syncytium manually. The distance between my station and the main machinery never felt so long. Unreachable. No matter how much effort I put into trying to reach the machinery, I feel like I never will. For the distance itself seems to work against me, stretching the hallway as if it was a living thing. When I finally do succeed, a quake suddenly shakes the room. I stand there, feeling the aftershock tremors beneath the soles of my shoes. And then, nothing. No time for that. I turn to the main machinery, start turning the valves as fast as I can, putting everything I have into it. Soon, my fingers start to bleed and I lose all sense of pain and place. Dad, I'm scared. It's okay, kiddo. I'm here. Weird. Daddy, is that you? I'm here, sweetheart. Take my hand. My hands are bleeding. My heart is in a crunch. My mind is blank. Kaweya! Kaweya stares at me, equally blankly, although her stare is genuine, not a product of stress or shock. She's simply not here. Not really. Not anymore. I can't open the seal. The pressure's too high. What the hell? The Yamada liquid begins to emit a glow so powerful it hurts my eyes. The light engulfs Kaweya and she too begins to shine. That light I had seen in my dreams so many times. It's here. It is now. Bathed in light, Kaweya raises her arms as if reaching for something, or someone no one else can see. Whatever it is, I can tell from her face it is not something unknown, but rather something close to her. Important even, for she strains to reach it. I desperately want her to reach it. I want to help her reach it. Daddy, I feel so warm. The only thing I can do in that moment is to make her feel more comfortable. So I put my hand on the pod, matching hers. I press on the surface hard, wanting to break it, to get her out of there. But I show none of that. I can't. I feel so safe. All around me, the lights from the chambers flashes, intensifies until it completely engulfs everything, including me. I'm blinded by its luminescence, and Kaweya is lost to me within it. After the flash diminishes, I'm once again given the gift of sight, but what I see does not feel so rewarding. The template bids me a grim welcome. Empty. No matter how hard and long I look, I can see no trace of Kaweya or the Yamada liquid. How can that be? I scan the Kalasha chambers and see a very different picture inside. Nothing. I go over to the controls, punch in some commands, and finally manage to open the pod since the system is down. I don't get any new insights, only the last few drops of Yamada spilling out and wetting my feet. At that moment, I'm left speechless and powerless. I stand there, dumbfounded and terrified, staring at the empty template pod, and I can swear I hear Kaweya's voice. I've always known you were smart and competent, and my dad never considered anyone but you to take over his lab. Kaweya, and you've proven his trust. Trust. I'm going to go ahead and leave it off there. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep playing this game. I'm not sure if I really like the game. It has great graphics, a great gameplay style. I like the noir feel to everything. The story is a little intriguing. It's really hard for me to get over all of the tropes, the weak female, breaking down every time she gets in an argument, looking up to the male leaders in the game, her father, Lang, even Joachim, and it's tired, it's outdated. I want to see something better from video games than that. If you guys want me to play some more, go ahead and leave some comments, like the video, go ahead and share it, subscribe to my channel, and maybe I'll continue on, but it doesn't look very good with the themes that I'm getting from this. A quick look further into the game also showed a lot more male gaze, we'll say. A lot of women on screen wearing barely anything. And I really don't see it finding any way to do it with taste. So I think this might be it. Until next time, see you later.